Okay, enough of the sadness. Let's talk about Taylor. Hi everybody, welcome to Pages of My Life. My name is Taylor. If you're here, thank you for watching the video. If you're new or if you're old but you haven't, go ahead, like, subscribe, and go ahead and comment on the bottom of this video whether or not you are a Summer I Turned Pretty fan and what team you're on. If you're here today, you already know we're going to be talking about Book 2 and Season 2 of The Summer I Turned Pretty.
This, I'm not gonna lie, is not my favorite book.
It's my least favorite out of the trilogy, and I hate to say it, but I think this season is going to be my least favorite as well. And no, it has nothing to do with the fact that my man is down right now, and that means I'm down, but we're going to be up. Just you wait. Just you wait.
Yes, that is what we call a shit show.
Just like my previous video, this is not a spoiler-free video. In fact, I may even talk about some things that may end up happening in Season 3. This is not confirmed because obviously there's no way for me to know that it's going to happen in Season 3, but I may mention things that happened in Book 3 in relation to what was going on in this season. So if that's something you are not interested in, click out of this video now. Like, right now. Bye-bye. Please come back, though. Alright, cool. Now that everybody that's not supposed to be here is gone, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of It's Not Summer Without You. Again, these are spoilers. So we are back in Cousins this summer after Susanna has died. Conrad goes missing, so Jeremiah and Billy team up to go find him, and that's really all the story is about. It's like a couple of weeks, or a week, it may only be a week, in Cousins, them trying to figure out what's going on to Conrad and some stuff going down, but we'll talk more about that later in the video. Again, like my first video for Season 1, I'm going to be talking about 4 main differences that I think are important to point out in the book and in the TV show. So those 4 main differences are, first we have Sky and Aunt Julia, then we have Jeremiah's attitude, Conrad's love confessions, and then we have Steven and Taylor, which I must say carried this whole season. And if you're denying it, you know it's true. They carried, and I'm not mad about it. Alright, first up we have Aunt Julia and Sky. While I am okay with them being characters in the TV show, they are not in the book at all. In fact, spoiler alert, again, in the book, the person trying to sell the house, which I think is a little bit more messier than it being her sister, so I like them, but I don't think they were necessary. But in the book, it's Mr. Fisher who is actually trying to sell the house, and if you've read the books, you know there's this whole thing, you know what I'm talking about, between Conrad and Jeremiah and their dad.
Son! Yo, son, what's up? What?
You're not my dad! You also hear something! Ugly ass fucking...
Conrad knows what's up with his dad. Jeremiah is in denial, in my opinion. So yeah, that's really short, but that's kind of the first big difference. They are not characters at all, and again, the dad is the one that's trying to sell the house in the book. Okay, we're back to Jeremiah. Again, if you watched the first video, if you haven't, you need to go back and watch it. You'll already know how I feel about Jeremiah as a character in this TV show. In the book, I really do not mind Jeremiah at all. Like, at all. My only complaint, actually in the first book I love him, my only complaint about him in the second season is that this man's middle name needs to be Jealousy, because he stays jealous about a lot of things when it comes to Conrad.
You know I looked up to you every day of my life. And when people said that you were better than me, I wouldn't mind because I believed them too. But you're not.
And I think it's a lot of the motivation behind Jeremiah as a character, and it plays out in each book, and I don't think we really see it as much in the show. It's kind of just woe is me, but it's, I don't know, to me it's important. Like, he does a lot of things that he does in his life out of jealousy of Conrad, and if you want to disagree with me, go ahead, let's like talk about it. Hit me up on Instagram or comment below. In the book, he is not as mopey as he is in the TV show. In the book, he's still kind of communicating with everybody. He's not like shutting them out and not speaking to anybody at all. I don't know, he kind of took on, I'll say, a Conrad persona in Season 2, where he's just and I say that with love for Conrad, I really do. you know? But he's just moping around, and he still annoys me. I do not like Jeremiah in the TV show at all. I think overall he's a messy character, but I think him even hearing Conrad say some of the stuff that he says and he still goes after Belly is insane. I think he's kind of a bad brother. I'm not gonna lie. Belly is a bad friend in general. Like, I'm not gonna deny that. But for him to know what Conrad said and still go after Belly in a way is insane to me. Is insane to me. And he knows this girl is forever gonna be in love with him.
She chose you. Doesn't feel like it. Not when she doesn't know she still has a chance with you.
He's setting himself up for failure. And he kind of did it to himself. So I'm going to stop talking about Jeremiah. And I'm going to move on to the love of my life now. Okay, Conrad's love confession. I loved that, obviously. Okay, so in the book, Conrad never officially admits out loud that he loves Belly. Conrad tells Stephen and Jeremiah, okay, that he loves Belly. And that was so great to hear, because it's like known. You get the vibes. You can tell he likes her. But he actually said it, and that was just so nice to see. And he actually told her.
Belly, I still want you.
He tells Belly that I have feelings. I mean, he does the thing where he takes it back, and he's like, oh, I didn't mean what I said. Shut up. Yes, you did. That's annoying. But he admits it, and I loved seeing that. I actually do enjoy... In reverse, I don't like Conrad in the book as much as I enjoy Conrad in the show. I think Conrad in this book isn't like terrible. He really isn't, but sometimes he really is like an a-hole. I'm not even gonna lie. He's actually mean and needs help. He should work on that. But in the show, you get to see the softer side of him. Like when he goes and confesses to Jer that basically he can't, like, being around Belly just like makes it hard for him to breathe, but like in a loving way, and the thought of not being with her hurts. When I tell you I sobbed at the end of season 2, sobbed my little heart out. There was no way to comfort me. My roommate was concerned. She's never read the books. She's only watching the show. But she was patting me on the back. She's also Team Conrad, so I appreciated the emotional support. But it was rough on me. It really was. I'm not gonna lie. Stephen and Taylor. Let's talk about it. They make me so happy. Like, so happy. The best addition to this show. To the books. Sky, Aunt Julia could've went. Staylor, I'm here for it. They may actually be more important to me than the main characters at this point. I'm rooting for this. If this falls apart, I will fall apart. That's how much I want this to happen. I love this. In the books, Taylor is still there. Stephen's gone. Again, he kind of disappears after page 94, specifically in the first book. But in the second book, Taylor is there, and she is still an awful person. Like, literally the worst friend I've ever met in my life. Very jealous of Belly. Calls Belly selfish, which... we won't talk about that. But she's just like a bad friend. She really is. If it's not about her, then she wants nothing to do with anything, and everybody else has to be miserable. If you're not giving her enough attention, it's everybody's problem. Like, okay. Enough about Taylor in the books. But Taylor in the show, she still kind of got that edge. And her and Stephen, I'm glad Miss Jenny kept them around. I don't know if this was what was going to happen originally. I haven't really dug into it. I don't know if the character that played Shayla, I don't know if, like, she chose not to be on the show anymore, or if Jenny just decided Stephen and Taylor was going to happen, and that's why she's no longer in the show. I should have looked it up before I started this video. But that's okay. I'm just glad this ended up happening. Yes, they are everything everything to me, honestly. If you also agree that they were the highlight of the show, let me know. Let's talk about it. It's so cute. I can't get over it. Okay, now you know I have to talk about the honorable mentions. To start off, the carnival episode, which was definitely just a filler episode. Not a thing in the book. Kind of. So the little flashbacks of them at the carnival and Conrad liking the girl with the shorts, yada, 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 that's in the first book. And I was shocked that they didn't put more of these flashbacks in the first season. But I guess it was cool seeing the parallel in this season. But whatever. It was kind of a filler. This whole season is kind of a filler. The whole book is kind of a filler. Not much happens, let's be real. Other than Staylor and Jeremiah and Belly being messy as heck. That's what this season is. But yeah, carnival, not a thing. Another thing that's not a thing is Cameron always being around. Does this man just work all over Cousins? Does he just have connections everywhere? Like, I'm kind of getting lost in his character because I'm like, what are you doing here? How did you get here? You work here too? Do you work? Because you're just hanging out with them. The next thing is the truth or dare question. So I think in the same episode, if I'm remembering correctly, they all go to the golf course and they decided to start playing truth or dare. And in the books, one, there's this whole thing about truth or dare being Jeremiah's first kiss, which I think is mentioned in the show. But in this setting, where they're all older now, someone, I think Taylor dared Belly and Jeremiah to kiss. Please don't quote me on some of this. I really should have rewatched this before I started filming. But I think Taylor dares Belly to kiss Jeremiah, which is what happens when they were younger. But in the book, Jeremiah's messy butt is the one that just straight up asks Belly to kiss him. Jeremiah is so messy. Like, he is. Hey, Belly, you should kiss me. Like, what?
Excuse me?
How dare you? Oh, I've already dared to do what I've done.
More about Jeremiah. That whole tour of his campus does not happen. It's mentioned, like, he wanted to give her a tour, but they never actually go on the tour. The little montage was unnecessary. And along with that, we have the volleyball storyline, which, again, Belly's not playing volleyball like this. She's not doing it like that. Yeah. Go sports, I guess. Now let's quickly talk about my lovely girl, Susanna. First off, Laurel's book is the title of the book, which I think was super, super, super cute and an amazing tie-in. And it's about her. That's just, yeah, I cried. That's all I really have to say about that. And then, of course, we have the final episode, I believe, where it's a flashback to where Susanna is, like, really getting close to death and she's writing these letters. The letters, I love seeing how that happened, because if you know what happens in the third book, I know I said there's spoilers, but I'm trying to, like, not fully spoil everything, but if you know what's up, you know those letters are gonna come into play, and her mixing those up is gonna be important. I'm happy to see that that's staying in the show, which makes me think we're up. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We will be. We are not right now. Right now, we're really down, but we will be up, okay? But anyway, in that whole scene, Susanna, which there's a small little snippet of that was a part of the first book as well, but it was not in the first season. And I kept telling my friend, I was like, there's this really important thing to me as a Conrad girly that happens between Susanna and Belly, because they're so close, that she, like, tells Belly this thing, and I'm like, they haven't said it. And finally in season 2 they said it. She says, look after him, and we know who she's talking about. And some people may say that's messy of Susanna, but she already knows, okay? It's a mother's instinct. She knows that Conrad is the one for Belly. Then Jeremiah shows up. He shows up in the book too when this happens. Just, why are you here? He just ruined the moment for me, but poor guy. I do feel bad. He's like, I always come second. Again, that's like, we're going back to the Jeremiah's attitude thing. I always come second to Conrad, yada, 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 yada. Alright, just experienced a slight technical difficulty, and by slight, I mean the entire ending of this video did not film, so I'm gonna do it real quick. Here are my final thoughts. 1, again, I do think that this season was not as good as the first season. The second book and the show is just a lot of filler. It was filler on top of filler. The only important thing was Staylor. I don't know why I did that. There's probably not going to be anything here. But Staylor is the only thing that got me through the season. I'm not even going to lie. And it has nothing to actually do with the whole Belly and Conrad, Jeremiah thing. Just, I did not care for most of it. The Conrad girlies are down. They are down in the trenches.
So I release you, Conrad Fisher. I evict you from my heart.
I'm popping in for 3 seconds to say I genuinely cannot listen to that song and not cry anymore. Like, it was already bad before the show, and now it's just like torture. Actual torture. All right, bye.
I really feel for Conrad. I will let Jeremiah have his moment. We all know, most of you probably know what goes down in season 3. I don't think, another question, let me know if you agree. I don't think Ginny, not a question, just a comment. I don't think Ginny is going to change the end of the show. I don't think Jeremiah is going to be the guy that she ends with. I think there's a slight possibility that she makes it where Belly is by herself and not dating anybody at the end of the show. Or that there's going to be like this time lapse, which I think actually I would appreciate, where we see everyone working on themselves. Belly just needs to grow. I think she might need therapy to help process what's been going on with Susanna and her emotions through that and her parents' divorce. Conrad, we already know, same thing, processing that his mother has died.
Like a belly home.
And learning how to better communicate his emotions
Here.
and not always just putting other people before himself.
No, I don't think I trust
And
myself
then
behind the wheel right now.
Jeremiah needs to get over his jealousy, also heal from his mother dying. I think it's very much brushed off in the books as they show more of his sadness, I guess, in the show. I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I guess that's one of my other problems with the show, Jeremiah. I'm like, are you actually mad that your mom died, or are you just like pouting because your brother and your best friend ended up dating and you're by yourself? By choice. Because in the book, he's not that way. He like is talking to everybody. So I don't know. Will she change it? Let's talk about another detail about whether or not she's going to change. At the beginning, also involving Jeremiah, if you know what's up, Jeremiah is a bi character. I feel like she can, but it's risky to keep the same storyline that she currently has in the book, making him a bi character, which I think, honestly, after I reread the first book, I realized it's kind of hinted at a little bit, but you don't get to see it in the show, so it is what it is. But keeping that narrative might cause some issues. Do you think it's going to cause issues? Let me know in the comments. I think that's all that I really have to say about season 2. It was just fluff. Staylor's up. Conrad's down. Jeremiah's Jeremiahing. But I'm glad he's happy, I guess. You know what? Everybody deserves to be happy at some point. So, thank you everybody for joining me and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, just thanks for supporting me and watching these, even though they can get long and probably aren't super exciting right now because I'm still learning the ropes. But I just really appreciate you guys. And yeah, so thank you.